Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. The two are interchangeable. And apologies for being a little bit later than planned, because you know what it's like. Bloody Mercury retrograde, yeah? You know, us astrologers always talking about this. Guess what? Logged in on time. And then it decided to say that my microphone wasn't working, so I had to log back out. I have had an epic day today, full day of consultations. I also want to say a big shout out to everyone that had a consultation with me today. But one of them couldn't happen because the retrograde energy was so bad. I had difficulty on my computer, but for my client, it was even worse. And her son was trying to help her out, and it was just a disaster. I could see them, but not hear them. They couldn't even see me. It was a complete blank screen. So we had to completely reschedule. All of this happening while my boiler in the kitchen is being replaced. Vintage Saturn, because Saturn's retrograde infrastructure, yeah, not just government. So Saturn has given me a new boiler. He's decided I needed a new boiler because it didn't quite meet the regulations, even though it was working fine. So I've not had hot water in my flat for a week. So I've been having to shower at the gym. And then just you got Mercury retrograde on top of that, plus with Neptune, Pluto, and, Jupiter will be starting soon as well, and Uranus. So here we are. But first of all, I want to also say a quick shout out as well, because I'm just off a group Zoom meeting with all of everyone, all the ladies that will be joining me in Santa Fe. So big love. And we've been touching base, and I'm going to set up the WhatsApp group tomorrow. And they are going to be one of the first to read a new workbook by my friend Sarah McSorley. I've written the foreword to this book, and this is literally a workbook. Just, you remember when I put my book out and everyone was saying, wouldn't it be great to have a workbook? So this is a book which really solidifies, condenses, and really puts everything, makes it easy to understand for everyone who might be from Western tropical background, what the differences are, diagrams in there, also the nakshatras, the signs, stars, planets, all their meanings, all that stuff, but in really accessible language. She's done a great job, and that's why, I wrote the foreword for it. So I look forward to telling you guys that when it's out on general release, but those in my group, they're getting it for free, and they're also going to give it a good look over as well and give my friend some feedback. So there's all that. So first of all, how is everyone? Oh my goodness, so much to discuss. Do you remember what I said? Do you remember what you've heard me talking about this stuff for ages. And do you remember what I said? Watch out for this Saturn retrograde, because Saturn is what? Government, yeah? Government, rules, regulation, infrastructure, stuff like that. Anytime a planet is retrograde, whatever it represents, it means review, revise, reassess in some kind of way. Look what has been happening since Saturn turned retrograde on the 29th of June, 2024. Wow. Yeah. Who would have thought, look at this scenario now. Obviously, we still got to, enjoy the excitement, enjoy the hope, but it doesn't mean, I'm talking about, of course, the DNC, Democrats National Convention, which we'll be talking about as well. But wow, what turns of fate. One of the things what I was planning to do, and it just ended up being not enough time today, but I will do it at some point. I am going to maybe one of my next shows or something like that, or I might just re-release one of my old videos that I did of Kamala Harris years ago, where I was predicting that she will have some kind of sudden rise, some kind of change in her career. And I remember saying at the time, I said I had the feeling it will probably have to come at the expense of Joe Biden, but I hope it's not because of a health-related issue and stuff like that. That has borne out. Now, obviously, a lot of people have been predicting these kind of things, but honestly, these videos, we're talking like maybe 2, some of them may even be 3 years old. Yeah, because you'd have to look back through my Kamala, maybe just put in the search Kamala Harris videos. I've done about 3 or 4, but they're really quite old videos now, so I'm going to be revisiting those and maybe just having a little chat about that. So anyway, lots to cover. And I think I see Patricia is here as well in the chat. Hey there. Yes, we were just talking on the Zoom. What's this here? Someone says here, I've been bawling since Monday from the DNC convention. So proud of everyone. My goodness. Do you know what? One thing I'd have to say is this. It reminds you, my goodness, there's so much star power they have. But for me, 2 words really stand out. And that is Michelle Obama. Wow. Wow, what a gifted orator she is. And isn't it interesting? Because we know Barack is fabulous as well. But he wasn't joking. And well, he was joking, but he was right when he says, oh, my God, I have to follow, you know, Michelle Obama after. I think she just hit everything. Anyway, I don't want to gush too much. We're going to get there. But isn't this interesting, guys? And I just want to remind everyone, Rahu, Rahu, Rahu. Do you remember what I said? I said Kamala is in a Rahu Dasha. And Rahu Dasha, almost anything can happen. And it deals with sudden rises. America is also in a Rahu Dasha, which means almost anything can happen, particularly things that are unusual and exotic. The Rahu Dasha obviously brought Duck LaRange, but the Rahu Dasha is also bringing Kamala Harris as well. And Kamala and America are in the same Dasha. Remember what I also said? I said fate is stronger than luck. Whatever happens, now obviously I'm really, really hoping that she wins, but whatever happens, she is fated to be connected with the USA chart. Every single leader will always have some strong connection with the natal chart of the country that they will potentially become leader of. And, you know, Trump had it, Biden had it, so does Kamala. I would say hers is even stronger because her ascendant is Gemini in Vedic astrology. Her Rahu is right on her ascendant, which is around about 1 degree of sidereal Gemini. So they're both on top of each other. And guess what? The Mars in the United States charts is also at 1 degree of Gemini and loose change, along with 3 other planets there. So she's conjunct with a stellium there. It's epic. And she has this fate and this destiny that needs to be fulfilled, which is intertwined with that of the United States. So let's see what happens. Whatever happens, this is a strong fatedness about this, but don't forget it is Rahu energy that is bringing this. Anyway, we'll talk about those things. Many of you are here piling in the chat. What's this here? Foggy, what's Foggy saying? I heard both Waltz's children were IVs, so some of those tears from the guys maybe about that too. Very disturbing for this project 2025. Yeah, I mean, I was just seeing a little bit where they've got the comedian on that got the big tome, the big book. I mean, the fact that they've published this thing, you're just like, oh my God. People just like, do you see what's happening? The review, revise, reassess. Many Republicans are now beginning to review, revise, and what? Reassess. Because people are starting to find out about this Project 25 and Project 2025, and they're starting to go, not sure about that, because not only would abortion be banned, you won't be able to have IVF or anything like that. Michelle Obama admitted that she had IVF as well in order to conceive her children. So this is going to resonate. And I think a lot of those, and dare I say, you know, there's a lot, you know, let's say maybe the female contingent of the GOP, look, it's a free world. Everyone can vote how they want. But really, I think when a lot of women really start looking at this, who are maybe independent and Republican, I think a lot of them are going to be going, not sure if I want to be signing up for that. And if not for themselves, then what about their daughters or their granddaughters? Anyway, I don't want this to become some big old diatribe. Everyone is getting in on the chat. So what we're going to be looking at tonight. So here's the sheet here. Oh gosh, there's 274 of you already. Thank you so much. So we're going to be talking about the boat sinking, not really doing a pull, but more of a discussion. We're going to be talking about the Indian PM Narendra Modi in Moscow, red states, potential sabotage and interference. Now, do you remember I said the GOP will try and interfere? Apparently, they released some, what is it? A case for impeaching Joe Biden during the RNC. No one's noticed. Barely anyone's noticed. Throwing their shade, throwing their sabotage, and it's just all looking so desperate and childish. We've got a question on Barron Trump. He's still a bit young. I mean, he's technically adult now, but still a bit young. But maybe I'll do a little read on that. The DNC obviously pulling cards on that. And then the last question coming in is a Trump Netanyahu question. So let's start, and then we'll let everyone come in the usual way. So let's get the old cards going. So thank you everyone for joining me tonight. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and share, press the bell notification, all that stuff. And not wanting to get too far ahead, but the next Thursday fry up after this should be coming live from Santa Fe, hopefully with Lady G as well, and a live audience as well. Well, you are the live audience as well, but literally there'll be 16 people either in front or behind me, getting stuck in. So it's going to be a very, very special show. Oh, Angela, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kind donation. And Angela saying, have a drink on me in Santa Fe. I will. I'll have a nice big gin and tonic, I think. Something nice and cooling and refreshing. All right. So this is coming from Sally Ann. And she says, hi, Hoogie. I'm not sure if this is the correct space for questions. So you did find the correct space, which is the community tab when I put the questions out. The rich man that died in the ship, which is what's it called? Mike Lynch and many others, sadly. She says he had recently been found not guilty for some industrial wrongdoing. While he died, and so did his business partner in different circumstances. Was there foul play, or was it just the turbulence of the stars? So what I would say is no foul play. That for me, like, sadly, when things like this happen, one would be able to potentially see this in the chart, particularly when you look at the D1 and the D9 and the transits that are happening at that time. And something like that, I would go as far to say, was basically fated. Yeah. There are certain things in astrology that are called samskaras, which is a fate that one cannot avoid. And if you think of what happened, it was actually a water spout. They describe it as a water spout, but essentially you can see it as a localized storm, and they can be very violent, and they're often triggered by heat. And there's been tremendous heat, as we all know, happening all over the world and stuff like that. Fires again in Greece and all of this kind of stuff. This was obviously Sicily, and it was tremendously hot. And they said they had their hatches open as well, even though they're on the water, to try and cool down. And this water spout, as they say, literally came along. You can see the video, so there's no foul play, literally. And you see everything, going like that. And I saw other kind of clips. And the thing what I think did it was the length of the mast. It was one of the tallest masts that you can actually get on a yacht. I mean, it was massive. It was absolutely massive. I've never seen a mast that big on a yacht before. And I would dare say, not wanting to seem shady, but it's a bit over the top. And allegedly, apparently this mast snapped. But if you think, when you're in high winds, if you got anything like that on something like this, then of course it becomes what? A leak, yeah? It acts like that. And I think the water spout came along, and rather than lifting up the ship or spinning it around, it sunk it. And 50 meters underwater, and tragically, they're still trying, they're still recovering the body. So in answer to that, I don't think I have to read on it, because there wasn't foul play. They were essentially victims of global warming. And the irony was, it was to celebrate him being exonerated for, I think, like insider trading or something like that. It was some kind of, and they were going to put him away for wire fraud and all of this kind of stuff. In regard of his company, which was called Autonomy, and he sold it to Hewlett Packard. Oh, and one thing to correct as well, when I was talking about Trump last week, I was talking about him maybe potentially fleeing to Ecuador, or that's where Trump Jr. and all that stuff went. It wasn't. It was El Salvador. I did put in the description, but you know, just to clear that one up, you know, sometimes, you know, one gets these things mixed up. Anyway, so this question's coming from Nick Minks. She says, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting Ukraine on Friday, just weeks after he met Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. Does this indicate a change in his stance towards Russia? And could this be a sign that all is not well in Moscow? Ooh, let's have a little look. Narendra Modi visits Ukraine. Is this a sign? Oh, that the tide is turning. Look at that. Hierophant. Wow. Okay. Government official moves. Conservatism, but this is dealing with governmental power. So this could suggest something could be going on within the government of Russia, certainly Ukraine. Look at that, because the Hierophant came out. Let's see what the other cards are. But let's have that as the context card, the card that sets the context. All right, how is this changing? What does this say about Putin's stance vis-a-vis the war in Ukraine? Is Narendra showing favor to Ukraine? Let's have a look. Oh, right. This is very interesting. This is very interesting. Okay, so the question was, does this indicate a change in stance towards Russia, and could this be a sign that all is not well in Moscow? So if we look here, first of all, the Hierophant fell out, or, you know, it twisted as I was shuffling, it twisted itself out. So this is showing that this is matters of government at the highest levels. So this can speak, of course, about the Ukrainian government, which is currently doing its incursion into Russia, but this could also be talking about the Russian government as well. So, you know, Putin, but also as well, if you think Narendra Modi is also a huge leader in his own right, of course, being the leader of the most populous nation on earth. So what he says matters, yeah, and that fell out. So it's showing that this is happening at the highest levels of government. If we look here, this is more talking about the Russian perspective here. You can see this, you could say this is Putin fighting from his hill, because now, of course, the fight has come to him. So there is an element here of self-defense, which makes a change, doesn't it? Because this is also the card of self-defense. And you see here, the batons are coming from all directions. So now, basically, Zelensky and Ukraine have taken the fight to Russia. If we look in the obstacle position, look, losses. So obviously, you know, Putin is experiencing some kind of losses here. Well, quite literally, because now before, when it was all in one direction, do you remember part of the terms of negotiation was that Ukraine would have to cede or sacrifice land that had already been claimed or reclaimed or whatever by Russia. Now it's gone in the opposite direction. So you see there's been losses here. So we can see this is the disappointment as well that Putin has been feeling over maybe a lack of progress in the war and the way that things have been changed. He's also as well sacked who was the guy that was looking after the armies, and now he's got his personal bodyguard in charge. Yeah. If we look here though, look, there is still this element here of money. Yeah, funding. We've got the Nine of Pentacles here, but let's not forget there is a shadow side to this card, which can be very much the person that can be bought. Yeah, let's put it that way. You know, the courtesan, but maybe a few rungs down. The word begins with P, but if I use it on here, there could be issues. So who is Putin? In many ways is probably having to sell himself, or compromise himself in some kind of way. Yeah. And it could be connected with money, funding, etc. This might be talk about his relationship with China or indeed India as well. But there's an element of compromise here, particularly as this is the lost card that was preceding it beforehand. You read them all together. Oh, look at this. I think, oh, Putin is starting to feel a bit nostalgic for the past. Maybe he's regretting. Now, of course, he would never admit it, but this would suggest to me maybe he's regretting a few things, yeah? Because it's just like, you know, we're more than 2 years in now, and it's not going to be all rosy. Someone just clicked up here. Is RFK going to endorse Trump tomorrow? So let's have a look at that. And then if we look at the outcome card here, oh, not sure which way to turn and avoiding a decision that needs to be made. So I think there are, you know, Putin's really got himself into an absolute pickle. Being, of course, none of us feel sorry for him. He was the one that invaded at the end of the day. Whatever the arguments are, at the end of the day, he did it. Yeah. And he thought it would be a lot easier than it's turned out to be. And now we really are kind of reaching a crossroads here for Putinshka. So he's at a crossroads, feeling nostalgic for the past, probably worrying about the ways that he may have potentially compromised himself or the thing he's done to maybe for support from China or, you know, Iran. He's a sense of loss about how the things are going. And now he's really in an act of self-defense here. This could also show as well, there could be enemies even within his own camp. People could be talking about how to ultimately remove him from government, or even maybe even challenging his authority as the supreme leader. So tricky. Oh, look what's at the base of the deck. Yeah. Feeling like a hostage to fortune, but with a situation that he created himself. So yeah, bit tricky there, isn't it? But he's only brought him on it. It's only brought it on himself and his nation. All right, so let's see. So that's that one done there. Let's go to, first of all, let's also as well see who else is in the chat. What's this here? Tartan Spy saying, love you, Julius Caesar, Nod Salome. Oh, okay, that's, what's this here? Oh, gosh. Oh, the chat's moving. What's this? Oh, wait, where there's all sorts of, oh, I've lost my way in the chat here because, let's put this here. Is there a video of Putin kissing the Karen at his meeting in Chechnya where he recently wanted to ask for help? There is a video of Putin kissing the Karen. What does that mean? The ring? At his meeting in Chechnya where he recently went to ask for help. Okay, so forgive me if I've not read that quite right, but you know, there we are. Like you said, like you see the card said, that Nine of Pentacles showing a bit of compromise there. Yeah, Karen. Someone's saying, can someone explain this? Yeah, I don't get either. Okay, and he's talking about Chechnya. Okay, which is one of the borderlands where it's actually where you have the Chechen rebels that come from that have actually had quite a few successful attacks against Russia. And I think he overthrew them by putting some tin pot dictator there or something like that. I can't quite remember, but it was a while ago now. All right, let's take a look. Question number 3. So Nick Minks asks, lots of chatter about US red states using delay tactics over the election. Of course they will. But is it possible that there are insiders working on behalf of the government who are actively feeding info back? Have the GOP been played, and will there be any repercussions before November that brings their plans to a halt? All right, so let's look at this. Now, obviously their plans are not that intelligent because they've not kept it secret. You know, so first of all, you'd be wanting to keep that secret rather than flagging up to everyone. Oh, by the way, you know, we've got our election deniers who are now in place in the election. All right, that's intelligent, isn't it? You're just telling everyone where you are. But let's just read the energy around that. Will there be repercussions? Are the GOP in place? I mean, the GOP at this stage is just, you know, just looking even more ridiculous than usual. And remember as well, like, because a lot of people are like, well, why now? Why this now? Us humans learn via contrast. Contrast. There's now such a stark contrast between the Democrats and the Republicans, which was always there, anyone that's been paying attention. But because the top of the ticket has changed, it's flipped in people's minds. Do you see? Because in general, that is how we learn as human beings while we're down here on Earth School. We learn, you know, via contrast, and that is a big part of what Earth School is about anyway. Let's focus on the question. These red states. Red states, red plans. Well, well, well. Interesting. So here we are. First card out is the Hermit. We know what this card is about. This is a card of isolation, yeah? Isolation, reflecting, reviewing, revising. And do you remember when I got this card that came out? This, which seems like forever ago now, but like just over a month ago. Well, yeah, almost a month ago, because the debates happened on the 27th of June. And you remember when I was being asked to read about this, I got this card and I said there's going to be a review, revise, and reassessment, not only in the Democrats, but also the Republicans. So you see here that this is research, this is going deep, this is coming up with plans. So obviously they're planning to put either fake electors or whatever in place to do as much sabotage as they can. But I think this is also talking about the GOP's current state in regard to the resurgence of the Democrats. Yeah, they're having to go within. Yeah. Look who turns up in the obstacle position. Look at this. This is so poetic. The King of Pentacles, which we know is also another card for Duck L'Orange. Yeah. He is preventing the reflection. Yeah. The spiritual soul searching that the GOP basically needs to go to. Not that any of us give a damn. I think they should all just disappear into a hole personally. But I also respect that people's free will to vote how they wish. That's what democracy is. But we can see here, here's Duck L'Orange, yeah, showing up in the obstacle position. And we can consider it reversed. When the card's the right way up, this is the man who's built his legacy, his wealth, etc., and is enjoying the fruits of his labor. But this can also be talk about a selfish and manipulative man who's just obsessed with money. So we all know who that is, yeah? A certain Duck L'Orange. They're not liking the options on the table. This is probably why they, not even probably, this is why they're going to try and cheat, yeah? Because they don't like this one, this one, this one. But they're also ignoring the cup that's coming out of the sky. The cup that's coming out of the sky, in my opinion, in many ways are some of these Republicans who have actually been speaking at the Democrats' convention, denouncing Duck L'Orange. And this is really where the GOP have to start waking up, because when you have your own people turning up at your rival's convention to denounce what you're doing, you really need to start waking up, yeah? But it's almost as if those that have wedded themselves to Duck L'Orange, they don't like the options. None of them like the options. They don't even like him, yeah? But they feel they've had to stick with it. But they're avoiding the obvious cup here, which would be just to be, stop being crazy. How about stop being crazy, yeah? But also as well, deep reflection as well. So you see, look, they're really... you know, and surprise, surprise, how many times does this card come up, the 10 of Pentacles, when we're talking about the GOP? It's all about the money, you know, it's talking about the legacy and stuff like that. But this is all of their whole fundraising operators, operandi, the whole shebang. Yeah, this is their convention and stuff like that, which again is trying to, you know, it's just come in with its usual stuff. Let's put it that way. But look here. We have the Six of Swords, so wanting to move to smoother waters. The truth is they want to ditch Trump. And I'm sure Trump's advisors, not that we care, are absolutely and utterly infuriated with Duck L'Orange because he refuses to talk about policy. And of course, suits the Democrats just fine. Like they say, keep on talking. I've never seen such, even for him, such protracted whining, whinging, complaining, talking about crowd sizes, blah, 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 without a stitch to say about how he's going to improve anyone's life. And if there's anyone who's still thinking of voting, you know, GOP or whatever, you really do have to ask yourself the question now, really, do you actually want this? Is this what you actually want? This tripe? It's tripe. It's grievance. It's personal grievance and spite. He's got no vision for America at all. It's all about his personal feelings about stuff. And he's even admitting it when he's talking. So anyway, up to them, yeah, to try and, figure it out. Feeling a bit isolated now, yeah, now that you've got this, you know, this dead weight around your neck, not liking the options on the table, not sure about the future of the Republican Party. And, you know, many people want to move to smoother waters. So, you know, what in terms of will they be successful in holding things back, we'll have to see. I think as the momentum builds, there could be less and less people they're still going to try, but it's such an energy that's building, and there's not an agreement as well of how they're actually even going to steal the thing, if they still have the heart to do it. Because if this momentum continues, this passion and hope and decency continues, they're just going to be they're going to be out-hoped. They already are. And even those that are, you know, died in the wall GOP, even they are probably going to start seeing the benefit of having a Kamala. So, you know, but it's not in the bag yet. So let's just say they're going to try and go for it. But I don't think it's nearly as unified as we may think. It may actually begin to fracture and break up a little. All right, next one is going to be Barron Trump. Let's see. So Catherine is saying here, most of us don't want that. Yeah, exactly. Which is, oh God, the chat's really ripping through. Salome says some of them are still gulping all this tripe and crap down. I know, but for how long? I mean, how long can this delusion be maintained? You've now got a comedian on stage, and I'm going to watch the rest of it once I've finished here, basically holding up the big tome of Project 2025, and he's just reading sections out. He's like, yep, discriminates that against this person, that person. You know, it's hard to withstand kind of that, and comedians are very, very good at conveying information. The younger generation will be looking at. But let me tell you, a lot of people, a lot of Republicans are watching, you know, the DNC, you know, the Democratic convention. A lot of people are watching this, and they got the star power as well. God, they know how to throw a party, don't they? All right, let's see who else is here. Okay, so Tartan Spy saying another Vedic said Duck L'Orange would win, but that either he wouldn't get to enjoy that victory, rescinded because of his crimes, civil war as well. Yes, I have a feeling I know who you're talking about. A certain famous Texan with big hair, yeah. And I can see some of the logic of the arguments of why that was put forward, which I've already kind of broken down in several videos, because you know me, I don't like to keep repeating myself. I know some people love to just keep repeating the same talking points, and okay, so you know, it makes sense, it gets a lot of traction, etc., and a lot of likes and what have you. But as you know, I like to keep it fresh, and I don't like to repeat things too much. What I would suggest is take a look at the video that I did, which was a comparison between Trump, Kamala Harris, and J.D. Vance. I pretty much say everything there, and it is transpiring. And the reality is that J.D. Vance and Trump both have their Venus in the 12th house. And if you take that literally in the most basic level, it can mean losses from women. Do you remember I said that? Losses from women. In theory, Trump could get a boost, but really look what's happening. Do you remember I said towards the end of August, do you remember I said as August progresses, I said it's likely to get tougher for Trump. Look how it's been playing out. When we hit September, it could get more critical. And particularly when he goes into his Jupiter-Venus dasher on the 29th of September, 2024, this is when we really could start seeing potentially the losses piling up. Because the 12th house does deal with losses. It deals with prisons, deals with hospitals. It's also spiritual as well. It can be the land of far, far away. But Trump isn't spiritual. He's more inclined to reap the negative. It is also between Saturn and Pluto, two malefics, two cruel placements. Let's not forget, Venus is also money. He's been bankrupt 6 times. That's more. He's been bankrupt more time than he has children, or at least the children we know about. So this Venus energy is going to start, and J.D. Vance also has Venus in the 12th house as well, which means that dasher is going to trigger both of them. It could trigger huge losses at the hands of what? Women. And you've heard me say, repeat after me, I said Venus will decide this election. Do you remember me saying that? Venus will decide this election. Venus is women. If Kamala gets in, and I really hope she does, it will be women in the main that did it. And when you're choosing a vice president, yeah, you can share the same strengths, but you can't share the same weaknesses. J.D. Vance and Trump have very similar weaknesses, and astrologically, they've got that same weakness in the 12th house, and they're both Leo rising. So, you know, doesn't bode well. All right. Gelding has said, hi, Hoagie, love the show. Thank you so much. There have been some disturbing rumors about Barron Trump regarding aggression and cruelty. So him perpetrating that, I'm guessing, or perpetrated against him. It's not been specific. Wondering if there is any truth to this and what his future may look like. So let's just read on the energy around that. And you know, I'm still cautious because he's technically an adult now, but he's still young. But let's just read what's the energy around Barron Trump. What's going on here? Let's have a look. What's the energy around Barron Trump? Energy around Barron Trump. Energy around Barron Trump. Let's see what's going on. We do see cards that in, you know, if we see the devil show up, for example, or, you know, Tower or Knight of Swords, aggressive cards, then maybe there might be issues. 5 of Swords would be another one, 7 of Swords. But if they're benign, then maybe there's not much to it. Oh, look at that. Look, we get the Tower. One of the ones I was going to mention was the Tower. Bloody hell. Oh, that's a bit worrying. The Empress turns up. Oh, Russia influence. Oh, look at this. Oh my gosh. If the last card is a major. Wow. Okay. You've seen this. This doesn't happen very often, guys. I have pulled 5 cards and 4 out of 5 are major arcana. So what does this tell us about Barron, or for anyone that gets this many major arcana cards? It means they're in a very important transitional time in their life. Yeah, very important transitional time. So he is having that. Someone here, GG, thank you. Became a new YouTube member. Much appreciated. Oh, the question on RFK. Let's read on that. And thank you, Phil, for your donation. Much appreciated. So here, we got the Tower moment. So this means there is a sudden shift, a sudden change in fate, in fortunes, in outcomes. He may have made an important decision, or an important decision may have been thrust upon him. Either way, if we look here, it's talking about the toppling of the king's crown. Yeah, so this could, of course, be also talking about Duck L'Orange. Could this be the case where Duck L'Orange doesn't make it, and it's showing in Barron's cards. Yeah, we'll have to see. But either way, there is some either surprising, shocking, or unexpected change in his life that could be quite profound. If we look here, the next card that turns up is the Empress. Now, as you know, whenever I read this card, I very much associate it with Russia. But it's also turning up in the obstacle position. When the card is the right way up, the Empress, of course, deals with bounty, yeah, fruitfulness. I say there's no one richer than the Empress, yeah. Emperor, and Empress are very wealthy cards as well. But the Emperor, pardon me, is doing all the work on behalf of the Empress, and she's getting to enjoy the fruits of that labor. However, this is technically in the reverse position because the first card was a challenging one. And when the Empress is reversed, it refers to barrenness. Not barren, because we're talking about, but it's literally, it means barren. Yeah. Isn't it funny? Because his name is Barron Trump. But this means the harvest is spoiled. There is not the yield. So there's been some kind of surprise. Maybe it's a private thing. But there's been some kind of surprise which could deal with a certain barrenness in his potential, his future. There's been a big change here that could be really something that has shaken his foundations. This could also as well, because it's a matriarchal figure, this could also talk about Melania. So maybe there's been a surprise there. And maybe there's some kind of Russian influence and stuff like that. If we look here, we have the Hierophant coming out. Now, of course, this is the second time this is coming out today when we were reading on Narendra Modi. But this, of course, is talking about what? Orthodoxy, government, etc. Maybe there might be some ambitions, or maybe he's being groomed in some way to maybe potentially run for office, or maybe consider taking up some kind of position in the government. Yeah, I have to just say what I see. However, though, we see there's some disturbance here. There could be some issues with the emotional or mental health, because we have the Moon card here, which is a card of subterfuge. As we know, nothing can be seen clearly by moonlight, but it can also speak as well of psychological anxiety, mental illness, not being well or at ease. So there's something that's come in here that has shaken up things and could potentially be affecting Barron's mental or emotional state. And if we look here, the outcome card is the Queen of Cups. So again, this could talk about Melania as well. But let's not forget, with the Queen of Cups, this is talking also as well about secrets. And apparently Barron is supposed to be quite quiet. So so there's an element of secrecy here, mystery here. Something very significant has happened in his life, or is happening and unfolding. And of course, it wouldn't be surprising if we also weave in what's happening in terms of the fortunes of the Democrats surging, while the GOP is looking flat-footed, and of course Trump is looking even more like a liability, like they're only just working it out. I mean, like police. So maybe it is connected with that. But what I will say is his life is a bit topsy-turvy at the moment, and there are secrets there. And I think this is also connected as well with Melania as well. So there might be, maybe Melania has made some kind of move. Gosh, all this talking. My voice is always tired. It's been a very long day today. And I was talking with the builders as well, and of course clients and Zoom calls and today's show. But there's something going on. So I'm going to say here it is potentially connected with Melania. Maybe she has made some kind of sudden decision which impacts his life, but we do not know about it yet. But it is significant. So I hope you guys found that interesting. Wasn't quite expecting that. All right, now let's have a quick flick through. Oh, who's this? Thank you so much, Harriet, for your donation. Much, much appreciated. Thank you. That's very, very kind. So let's go here as well. Yes, so Salome is saying not much longer, fewer and fewer, hopefully, Hogarth. I think that is in terms of clinging to Trump. Trump trife is rife, absolutely. And then Kathleen Bourgeois is saying, half my family has drunk the Kool-Aid. Yes, yes. And also as well, you know what? One thing I'll just add as a slight tangent here, quite a lot of the spiritual community as well have drunk quite the Kool-Aid on Trump. I mean, look, no one's saying the Democrats are perfect, but really, are you really wanting to vote for this stuff? Really, you really want Project 2025? You really want a dictator? You really want your rights to be taken from you? You know, just really, it's, oh, that's strange times. Again, that Rahu energy. And what was this? Let's do a quick read, which is a slight digression. RFK going to endorse Trump. Is RFK going to endorse Trump? Let's see. Tomorrow. Oh, I mean, bloody hell. Really? Does he want to go there? More than ever, Trump is a bit of a sinking ship. Never underestimate him, though. Remember, like I said, never underestimate Duck Larange. Remember that, like I said, he has reptilian cunning. This guy is capable of anything. Anything. I still think he's going to flee, though, when the you-know-what hits the fan. Because if Kamala wins, that means, like I said, she will be prosecutor in chief and queen. Yeah? Literally, she'll be the queen of America. No one's going to put it that way, but with what the Supreme Court have done, that's essentially what. In fact, Empress, because this is a continent. You know, queens tend to rule kingdom. America is a continent, so she'll be Empress of America. Anyway, me having my little diversions there, but indulge me. Thank you so much, Jacqueline, for your kind donation. All right. RFK, let's have a quick read. I'll do 3 cards, yeah, because I want to get on to the, how am I doing on time? Okay. RFK. 3 cards for RFK. Vis-a-vis Trump. Is he going to go there? We see the 2 of Cups, then we know there'll be, you know, there will be collaboration. Oh, no. Oh. Well, look at that. Okay, this is really simple. If he does do it, it's for the money. We look here, look at this. We've got the poverty card here, kind of reading the whole situation. And what I would say to RFK is like, really? Are you sure? Are you sure you want to go there with cards like this? You just be, you know, attaching himself to something which will essentially be an impoverished outcome. It's not, I don't think it's going to do him any favors at all. And look, I think this is also talking about him, of course, feeling out in the cold for obvious reasons. So there might be a level of political expediency here. We look in the middle card, look at this, 10 of Pentacles comes back in, but we so get often for the GOP. So he's looking to potentially come out of the cold and get maybe some kind of support, or is hoping for a boost perhaps to his fundraising or finances if he were to endorse Duck Larange. But look here, if we take this at its literal meaning, now of course the Fool can mean a leap of faith, yeah, a leap of faith. But let's not forget, the dog is the dog encouraging or trying to warn the Fool of the perils and the dangers ahead? I would say if he does endorse Trump, I think it would be a bit foolish, and I think it would turn off a lot of people, and I would say it's probably not wise and not prudent. So if I were you, RFK, I would avoid that, because it's, yeah, nah. I can see, because look, he's feeling neglected. He's feeling out in the cold. He doesn't feel like he has the funding, because obviously his funding is not Kamala Harris's funding. I mean, no one's beating Kamala Harris right now. So maybe this is why he's trying to cozy up to the GOP to bolster his fortunes. I think he's hoping if he does, that it will bolster his fortunes for his bid for the presidency, but it could just be a foolish act. Yeah, could just be a foolish act. So RFK may not be the best idea. Yeah, may not be the best idea to endorse Duck Larange. All right, let's go question 5. And let's look here. So Lilith Murray says, hi, Hogarth. Is the Democratic Convention a cause for great hope or concern for our future? There are ever-increasing rumors that the 2024 election won't happen or something unique will happen. Could you please look into this? Thanks. So, of course, quite a few of the astrologers, you know, are predicting things. Look, there's quite a lot of catastrophizing going on. But for me, the big hoo-ha, the big deal is around, like I've said before, 29th of March, 2025, a week or so before, during, or after. That is what I'm calling the Great Awakening. Yeah, there's going to be something seismic that will happen. Now, could Kamala's rise be part of this Great Awakening, this great change in the homeland of the United States? That would fit as well. I think cryptocurrencies and all of this kind of stuff are not going to be another big factor. And I think there's going to be a lot of news about the dollar as well. Let's not forget as well, we've got BRICS there. But also as well, could this be part of a major act of sabotage at home, where obviously Duck L'Orange is doing his best to try and, you know, make sure that he is the winner, prepared to cheat and stuff like that? Is there that? Could this be one of the states saying, maybe Texas, saying it wants to secede? Now, I know many of you said that's not possible because of the Constitution, blah, blah, blah. But in many ways, it's not the point, because the GOP are not following any kind of rational rules or regulations. Remember, it's a cult now. It's a cult. Cults do weird, crazy, batshit stuff, as we know. So it could be one of those things. Why I'm feeling more hopeful is that I am hoping that it is, because think of that as well. If America elects its first female, let alone female and black president, or half black, half Indian, that would also constitute, wouldn't it, a great awakening in the homeland of America? Yeah, that would also fit the bill. Either way, it's seismic. And as you know, I get my predictions in early, and I've been saying this for ages. I've been saying, this is the Great Awakening. Something seismic is going to happen in America, and of course it will reverberate around the world. So those are the possible candidates for that. But let's just read on the energy. Increasing rumors that the 2024 election won't happen. No, I think it will happen. I just think there's going to be a lot of subterfuge and potential sabotage, because the GOP is desperate, and those Project 2025 people, they are rabid. Like I said, they're even worse than Duck L'Orange. They really are. Because he's being exploited by them. Not that I feel sorry for him, but he is being exploited by that cohort, that Project 2025 cohort. And one of the manipulators in chief is, of course, his own vice president, who wrote the foreword to Project 2025. Yeah. And you don't write the foreword for things unless you're closely connected with that person or that movement. Anyway, what's the energy around the Democrats' convention and potential outcomes and stuff like that? So hopefully we're going to see nice, joyful cards. But as you know, I just read and I just say what I see. Yeah. All right. Energies around the convention, prospects as well for the elections going forward. All this resurgence, optimism continue. They must maintain it and take it across the line. Like Michelle Obama said, go out and do something. Promising. Wheel of Fortune. Temperance. Oh, now look at this. This is very interesting. All right. We have two nights here that are bookending this reading for the Democrats. Two nights. One is the slowest moving night. One is the fastest one. If we look here, I think this is speaking about where the campaign was before Kamala was at the top of the ticket. slow, you know, slow and steady, but not particularly enthused. You'll notice here with this horse here, all of its hooves are on the ground. This is the slow knight, but is the loyal knight. So I think this, of course, were many people who, of course, were loyal to Biden, understandably. But now that the top of the ticket has changed, people can now admit, yeah, to what was really kind of going on. And I wanted to be able to speak more freely on, but, you know, you get so much pushback on these things when one doesn't say what people wanted to hear. So there have been many times, unfortunately, where you've seen I've had to speak in code, you know, because people just don't want to hear it. Yeah. But now the top of the ticket has changed. Look at the incredible optimism that has unleashed across the whole continent of America, where now you even get in the Mormons who are saying the Mormons are coming out for Kamala Harris. Yeah. Republicans, white men for Kamala Harris, whatever. We know this wouldn't have happened, you know, under Biden, but he was what? The loyal knight, loyal to America, but maybe not with the pace and the excitement, yeah, that we're seeing now. And I think that's fair to say. No one is dissing his record or whatever. It's a, you know, incredible record, but I have to say what I see in the context of this convention. It was slow at the start. People weren't feeling inspired. But then look, a twist of fate, the wheel of fortune intervened. For me, this is also the Rahu energy as well. Yeah. The Rahu energy is intervened and it's turned the wheel of fortunes, the destiny, the fate and destiny of the Democrats has changed. Yeah, a lot has happened. Now we have here the rebalancing act. Yeah, going on the rebalancing act. So this is now where Kamala and Tim are really balancing everything out, and they're getting this support here as well. They're trying to present a balanced view that is for all Americans. Yeah, for all Americans. That's one of the things that they've been saying. So good for them. They need to keep on with that message. We look here, they get the Ace of Cups, which is, look, emotions overflowing. But this is in the positive sense. Joy, hope, and happiness. This is what they're offering. Do you see here how the hand is literally offering? They're literally offering joy, peace, even, yeah, above. And we've seen the rapturous response that they've had. But look at this. The outcome card here is the Knight of Swords, which is what? The act of aggression, the act of attack. I think this is also as well, it's not just fluffy stuff. Yeah, it's not just about the emotions, which has been really good. They are really, Kamala and Tim are really on the attack. And I'm so glad that, you know, the Democrats have started to do this, because this is what people like myself and so many of us readers have been calling for ages. So let's not forget too, her ascendant and her Rahu are all conjunct Mars in the USA charts, and Mars is a planet of conflict and war, but that can also mean fighting the good fight, using one's logic, being tactical, yeah, to win the battle. So they are determined to defeat Duck L'Orange. There will be an element, of course, where people may try and sabotage, but the other cards are so positive. I think this is more about how the Democrats have changed their fortunes. They're rebalancing the political discourse, which is releasing huge amounts of optimism and joy. But underneath that, they're extremely determined to win. And they're showing that kind of classy aggression, as it were, which is something I've been wanting to see for the Democrats for ages. And it is working. But the fight is not over. It shows it's going to be a scrap as well. It's gonna be a scrap. But Kamala, of course, is also saying to everyone, look, this isn't in the bag yet. It's going to be a close race. So listen, it's not just my words. Listen to her as well, because she is saying it as it is. But those are pretty positive cards, aren't they, for the Democrats? So if they keep it going, you know, I think, you know, they could I think they'll get over the line, but don't underestimate Duck Larange and his nastiness. Right, there you are. Do you know what? My voice is exhausted. I've read quite a few. We can end on that positive note, can't we? We can end on that positive note. Just to read the cards backwards. The Dems surging, yeah? Surging in the polls, taking the fight to Duck Larange with a message of hope, yeah? Hope and emotions overflowing. They're looking to rebalance America, you know, to find a better discourse, better values. And this is also a time of fate and destiny that America is heading into, where no one entity may be completely in control, but we see the loyal steadfastness. This is also Joe Biden supporting things from the back, the loyal, steady knight who gets the job done in the end. So I will leave it there. I hope you enjoyed that reading. The next show, of course, will be here. So who do we have? 1 minute. It's going to be, yes, me and the ladies again. The show after that, we're going to have Sheila on, which is the 31st of August. But I will leave it there. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Thank you as well for the kind donations. Much appreciated. Thank you, everyone who's joined me in the chat. Please don't forget as well to like and subscribe if you've not done so already. There are over 600 of you joining me tonight, so much, much appreciated. I will see you all on Hogely, and yeah, see you guys soon. And I'm just going to chill out and relax now, try and rest a bit. Much to do tomorrow, but hope you found that interesting. So Dems, keep up the good work, keep that momentum going. Rahu is helping you. All right, bye for now. Oops, clicked the wrong thing here. Oh, all right, bye-bye.